It's 2005, you open Warcraft Movies and you see this. You don't question it, you don't even notice it. Some could say you are down with the sickness. But why? Why were pretty much all the Warcraft videos neck deep in heavy metal music? Not just heavy metal, but a very particular sort of heavy metal. Brace up, Holmes, we are traveling back in time. 2004. Now we can get music the traditional Latin American way. Disturbed, Slipknot, Rammstein. Oh right, Katy Perry didn't exist yet, thank God. Britney still was hot though. Okay. Heavy metal was extremely popular back at the start of World of Warcraft, but this actually doesn't tell the whole story. First of all, you may be wondering how did they get away with top 40 songs in the copyright hell that is YouTube videos?
Psych!
YouTube wasn't even out back in 2004, let alone as popular as it is today. All the greasy PvP legends congregated in a place called WarcraftMovies.com. Leroy Jenkins, Bortney, Swifty, you name it, it was all in the place to be. It was a rudimentary site and kind of a living fossil. The site had almost the exact look since 2011. While some videos over the years did get taken down to copyright, it was more or less a Wild West. Although videos weren't freely uploaded either, you know, your crappy PvP video had to get approval from staff, and there wasn't a thing like an algorithm to recommend more videos like we are accustomed to today. Most of the views didn't come from the site itself, but actually from people sharing these videos in different sites, mainly forums. That's where the real WoW videos lived early on, the WoW forums, MMO champion forums, guild forums, smaller forgotten to time forums, you name it. And that brings us to one reason that heavy metal music was so overused in early World of Warcraft. Forums are usually relegated to the most voracious power users of a game. Race car Johnny that goes broom broom on a hunter twice a week isn't gonna spend hours discussing and studying the game. Now there isn't exact data on who these power users were, but I figure you can picture, probably smell this demographic. As a matter of fact, the early adopters of World of Warcraft were young adults, males aged 17 to 25. Young enough to have 30 plus hours a week to sink into the game, but old enough to have the disposable $15 a month income that you needed for the game. Now, if you do a little math, you can see that bands like Slipknot, Disturbed and Drowning Pool all started in the mid-90s and rose into prominence in the very late 90s. I know, some hardcore fan is gonna get real angry at me for oversimplifying this, but this kind of heavy metal was part of a new style called nu metal. This matches perfectly with the period these 2004 college bros were in high school, and it makes sense a generation raised by Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtracks would grow to love heavy metal. If you look back, you probably had a similar experience. Most people cement their musical taste in high school, so this fascination for the early 2000s heavy metal culture carried over. Although that doesn't tell the whole story either, as much as heavy metal culture bred World of Warcraft was deeply in the metal culture too. It's a little hard to believe, but a lot of the more indie heavy metal artists were really into World of Warcraft back in the day. Here's Corpse Grinder, the lead vocalist for the heavy metal band Cannibal Corpse.
And I don't play no Homo Alliance either. I don't play no Night Elves or Gnomes, Orcs and Undead. The Alliance, die you emo suckers.
Yeah, a grown man having these strong opinions about medieval cartoon characters is hilarious, but he's no exception. Jonathan Davis, the lead singer of Korn, for example, has also publicly talked about his WoW journey a couple times. It is this unspoken bond between the World of Warcraft community and the heavy metal community that gave rise to everybody's favorite Horde sympathizers.
Storm, earth, and fire. Heed my call.
You've probably seen them before, but did you know the level 70 Elite Torrent Chieftain band is actually comprised of Blizzard employees? Yeah, it used to be cool, yo. They started as a joke in the end credits of Warcraft 3 The Frozen Throne, and they became a recurring figure in World of Warcraft, even performing live on so many BlizzCons for thousands of fans to hear the truths about Horde supremacy. Even former Blizzard CEO Mike Morhaime was in it. Well, that's basically why they aren't around anymore, most of them left the company, I know, Saj. But then again, you cannot possibly understate how deeply heavy metal was part of WoW culture, and even the developers of the game were singing it. Weird demographic data aside, nu metal and World of Warcraft just makes sense, you know? You have this big Chad orc destroying liberals with a mace made out of fire, and you wanna show the world how good you are. You just drop 2 bangers by Distort, maybe one Breaking Benjamin song to just sound a little more normal, you know, but just for good measure then you go back to Distort. Eventually WoW PvP metal evolved, mainly thanks to Linkin Park introducing one of the weirdest fads in music history. That's right, slapping a rapper on top of songs that didn't have rappers before.
Watch the window, right out the window. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a window.
That's when bands like POD, Crossfade, or how could I forget Evanescence took over WoW in the late WarcraftMovies era from Radolishkin to Cataclysm. That is until WoW Heavy Metal's untimely demise that made PvP montages sound like this. What happened? Many things actually. First of all, the elephant in the room, YouTube came in and all of a sudden people that were playing WoW as if it was their job now could make it a job. You can monetize YouTube PvP videos as long as you do not use copyrighted music, so heavy metal montages got replaced by crappy EDM or stream highlights. YouTube eventually started getting so aggressive with their copyright system that PvP legend Swifty went as far as to sneak into concert backstages with his sister to ask musicians for permission to use their music. Sadly, nothing came of it and Swifty stopped making montages and instead chose worthless things like going outside or finding true love and marrying. Another reason that heavy metal died in WoW is that
Times change.
okay, boomer, heavy metal isn't cool anymore, Fedora meme. WoW failed to capture a younger audience in almost any aspect except PvP for some reason. It is hard to believe, but WoW PvP still has a young and healthy audience, and that audience doesn't even know what Drowning Pool is. As such, modern PvPers like Peekaboo started using styles of music that appeal to those people. Some PvP streamers found different strategies though.
Every single way, I ripped up my shirt right in front of you and
He's just screaming right now.
And the music that dominated MMOs for the better part of half a decade slowly faded into obscurity. But now, there is hope. Lately, a lot of DMCA-free heavy metal music is becoming available, and services like Streambeats that provide such music keep growing. So as royalty-free music keeps getting better, some young go-getter might pick up the torch where Swifty left. My favorite band from the PvP era is a little more recent, that's Crossfade, but what is your favorite band from the PvP montage days? Let me know in the comments! Subscribe and hit the notification bell for we got a lot more coming, homeboys!